They called it the mare, the unseen cosmic purpose of the pyramids, the prologue of the singularity. A point is the fundamental geometry found within nature. Every shape, every structure, and every physical reality we can perceive is constructed entirely from the seamless connection of points. Yet, what our human eyes call the smallest point is merely an illusion. If we look closer, it contains even smaller points nested within its core. And those smaller points are, in turn, replaced by infinite, microscopic points. Following this process of diving inward into the microscopic world, we eventually reach a boundary, a highly specific threshold, where the material universe completely dissolves, a place where we can no longer distinguish the physical world from the spiritual, unseen world. To illustrate this unseen world, we need only look at the invisible fields of modern radio waves. We cannot see them, we cannot touch them, we cannot detect the existence of radio waves through our ordinary human senses. Yet their physical reality and power are indisputable today. It is this exact mystery that forced modern quantum scientists studying subatomic particles to confront the paradox of wave-particle duality, the fact that reality fluctuates between a solid, physical particle and an infinite, invisible spiritual wave. The ancient Egyptians did not struggle with this paradox thousands of years before the birth of modern physics. They understood this fluid transition between spirit and matter, and they applied it directly through the architecture of the pyramids to gather an immense celestial energy. They did not build these monuments as mechanical power plants or primitive stone tombs. They utilized a precise geometric prism shape, treating the massive Earth as the stable base reservoir of the physical world, and connected the tip of the structure directly to the spiritual reservoir of the cosmos. Their goal was elegant, profound, and entirely non-materialistic. They used the pyramid for intense contemplation, engineering a sacred geometric lens to elevate human consciousness to its absolute, highest potential. The lexicon of the ancient architects, to understand how the ancient masters connected the physical reservoir of the Earth to the unseen frequencies of the cosmos. We must discard our modern vocabulary. The builders of the Old Kingdom never spoke the word pyramid in their sacred scribal language. This architectural marvel was designated by a specific functional title. In the sacred hieroglyphic system, the word benbenet is an active descriptor. It translates directly to the instrument of ascension, or the place of channeling. The ancient masters did not view the benbenet as a passive mountain of dead granite. It was designed as a dynamic, metaphysical transceiver. Look closely at the geometric flow of the pyramid. At its base, it possesses maximum mass, weight, and volume. This wide foundation represents the physical reservoir of the Earth, a domain governed by the primordial Earth god Geb. Geb is the heavy, material container of physical life. The base of the pyramid sits directly upon this earthly battery, absorbing its telluric currents. But as the architecture moves upward, away from Geb, it undergoes a radical geometric purification. It sheds its volume, It narrows its surface area, compressing its energetic focus, until four vast triangular planes converge into a single, dimensionless, microscopic point. At the summit, this absolute apex, the sharp tip that stood between the mass of the earth and the infinite expanse of the heavens, was named by the masters as the Benbenet. The Benbenet, or the Pyramidion, derived from the ancient root word weben, meaning to gleam or to dawn. The pyramid represents the primordial mound of creation that rose out of the infinite, unmanifested spiritual waters of the cosmos. The ancient masters recognized that a point is the ultimate geometric paradox. It marks an exact position in our physical world, yet it possesses 0 dimensions, 0 width, and 0 mass. Therefore, the pyramid was engineered as the absolute minimal boundary of matter, the precise needle's eye, where the physical mass of Geb meets the infinite, wave-like field of the spiritual world, Tesla's transmitter, and the field of Hecke. For centuries, this profound geometric philosophy was dismissed as primitive mysticism. But as human science progressed, our greatest minds began to independently rediscover the exact same principles. The first master of the modern age to connect these precise dots was the visionary inventor Nikola Tesla. Tesla was famously consumed by the geometry of the Great Pyramid. He recognized that the structure was not a passive tune, but a sophisticated energy wireless transceiver. In his historical analyses, Tesla posited that the pyramid was a monumental antenna designed to tap into an invisible ambient electromagnetic field that envelopes the Earth. Tesla's core operational theory perfectly mirrors our concept. He used the massive, highly conductive physical mass of the Earth as a base reservoir, a ground connection, while utilizing the sharp apex of the structure to interface with the highly charged electrical waves of the upper atmosphere. Tesla proved that geometry, when aligned with the natural frequencies of the Earth, could act as a wireless receiver for invisible, non-material forces. What Tesla identified as ambient electromagnetic fields and what we compare today to invisible radio waves, the ancient Egyptian masters defined with absolute clarity. They called this all-permeating invisible matrix of universal energy Hecke. Hecke, often mistranslated by modern historians as simple magic, the ancient texts reveal that Hecke was understood to be the underlying quantum fabric of the cosmos. It was the primordial, invisible wave field that existed before creation, connecting mind, spirit, and matter into a unified whole. To the ancient masters, there was no separation between science and spirituality. Physical matter was simply Hecke that had slowed down, condensed, and collapsed into a localized visible state, what modern quantum physics calls a particle. The spiritual world was simply Hecke operating in its non-localized, free, invisible state, what physics calls a wave. The pyramid was built as a geometric transformer designed to translate the invisible waves of Hecke into a focused stream of energy that could interact directly with human consciousness. The fractal harmony of Nassim Haramein. To find further proof of this ancient geometric understanding, we must look to the vanguard of modern theoretical physics. In his groundbreaking work on the unified field theory, physicist Nassim Haramein provides the exact mathematical foundation for our concept of the infinite fractal point. Haramain's mathematical physics asserts that the space around us is not empty, it is a plenum packed with infinite subatomic energy fields that exist completely beyond our everyday human senses. Identical to our analogy of invisible radio waves, Haramain proves that if you take any singular, microscopic point in space and divide it infinitely inward, you do not find nothingness. Instead, you discover a singularity, a fractal point containing the energetic blueprint of the entire universe. Most crucially, Haramain's physics demonstrates that the fundamental geometry of this infinite microscopic vacuum is tetrahedral, a structure composed entirely of interlocking, three-dimensional triangular pyramids. Haramain's work serves as definitive scientific proof of the ancient masters' vision. The pyramid is not an arbitrary shape. The pyramid a macroscopic, large-scale crystallization of the literal, microscopic geometry of the quantum vacuum. By constructing a massive stone tetrahedron on the Earth, the ancient masters were building a structural mirror. They created a giant geometric resonator that aligned perfectly with the fractal points of the unseen spiritual world, allowing a massive influx of cosmic equilibrium to ground itself into our physical reality. The alchemy of the two souls. This brings us to the ultimate purpose of the monument. If the pyramid was not a mechanical machine or a primitive graveyard, how was this gathered energy utilized? The answer is carved directly into the inner chambers of the 5th and 6th dynasty pyramids. Within the sacred writings known as the pyramid texts, the ancient masters explicitly state that the pyramid was built to manage, fuse, and elevate the dual nature of human consciousness. They did not view the human spirit as a single entity, but as a complex system of distinct energetic bodies, deep within the heavy, physical base of the monument, insulated by millions of tons of stone from the outside world, rested the car. The car. The ancient masters defined the car as the vital life force, the astral double, and the emotional reservoir of human identity. The car is intrinsically bound to the material world. It requires a heavy, stable, unchanging physical anchor, a mummy, a statue, or a dark stone chamber to remain safely integrated on Earth. The massive base of the pyramid was the ultimate fortress, built to preserve and stabilize the car. But at the precise moment of cosmic alignment, the second half of human consciousness was unleashed. This was the bar depicted by the masters as a majestic, human-headed hawk. The bar represents the pure celestial soul, the vehicle of free, unbound cosmic consciousness. The bar is not bound by gravity, nor is it constrained by the physical world. It belongs inherently to the invisible wave universe. According to the pyramid texts, the bar would ascend through the precise internal shafts of the monument, launching itself straight through the singular, microscopic point of the pyramid to soar among the stars that never set, merging completely with the divine source of chords. But the ultimate achievement was the daily fusion of these two realms. At the end of the celestial cycle, the free, wave-like bar would descend back down from the spiritual reservoir of the sky. It would pass directly through the microscopic needle of the pyramid, channeling its vast cosmic frequencies down through the sloped planes of the structure to reunite with the physical car anchored in the dark womb of the earth. This bidirectional flow was the true purpose of the pyramid. It was a geometric crucible where particle and wave, spirit and matter, earth and sky were forced to merge into a singular state of perfect harmony. The prism of higher consciousness. This brings us to the final, undeniable proof that the pyramids were built exclusively for the cultivation of higher consciousness. In his extensive research into shape resonance and radionics, former military instructor Dr. Robert Gilbert has demonstrated that specific geometric angles act as natural physical antennas for invisible wave frequencies. Dr. Gilbert's work shows that the specific angles of the pyramid create a unique field of shape resonance that can systematically organize, balance, and amplify the subtle energetic fields of the human body during deep contemplation. This physical reality is supported by the insights of theoretical quantum physicist Dr. Amit Goswami, author of The Self-Aware Universe. Dr. Goswami proves that the material world does not create consciousness, rather, consciousness is the fundamental fabric of reality, and matter only condenses when an observer focuses upon it. Dr. Goswami's work implies that ancient sacred architecture was specifically engineered to pull the human brain out of its localized, material, particle-based thinking and shift it into a non-local, spiritual, wave-based state of universal awareness. This exact state of hyper-awareness is what the ancient Egyptian masters called Saa. In the ancient texts, is the personification of cosmic perception, the ultimate state of intellectual and spiritual hyper-awareness where a human being fully understands the invisible mechanics of the universe. The pyramid was never an industrial power plant meant to generate mechanical electricity. It was a grand, sacred prism built for Saa. It was a geometric tool of contemplation that took the raw, unmanifested energy of the spiritual universe and refracted it into the physical world, allowing the initiate to sit within its core, step outside the limits of their physical senses, and perceive the infinite fractal points of reality. The true tribute of the pyramids, as left behind by the ancient masters, is a timeless message written in stone. They stand as a magnificent physical proof that our material reality is not an isolated cage. They are a permanent reminder that if we look closely enough at the fundamental geometry of nature, we will find that every physical block we walk upon is forever connected through a singular, infinite point to the unseen spiritual universe. The mass of the earth is our reservoir, the apex is our gateway, and higher cosmic consciousness is our destiny.